going to show you how to start and operate a 3 Series John Deere tractor. This is a 2012 3032E John Deere. 90% of the time you're going to jump onto the tractor from this side because the other side has the controls for the loader bucket over there. You can hop on over there, but most times it's going to be from right here. You do have a step right here, handle right here. You can grab onto the steering wheel to hop up. Now, before you turn the ignition, there's a couple things you need to check. Over on the left-hand side is the gear selector. You need to make sure that it's in the middle. So this is low, this is high, and this is neutral. The tractor won't start unless the gearbox is in neutral. You also want to make sure the parking brake is engaged, or you're at least holding down the brake pedal. The parking brake basically just holds this pedal down. So you can just push the pedal, pull this lever up, and it'll lock the brake pedal in place. All right, so with your foot on the brake, you can go ahead and turn the ignition. The first click, you want to wait a couple seconds. You'll hear a click. I honestly don't know what that does, but it won't turn on until you hear that click, and then you can go ahead and turn it on. This is your throttle right here. I always start it with the throttle down at the lowest setting. Now, before you move forward, you want to do a quick check around, make sure there's nobody around you, you haven't leaned something up against the tractor that you're about to run over. Then you can go ahead and release the parking brake. So push down on the pedal to relieve the pressure. Then you pull up on this lever, press the button in, let that down, and now the parking brake is free. Then you always want to check your 3-point hitch to make sure if you have any implements that they're not sitting on the ground. I always put them down on the ground when I'm done with the tractor, just for safety. So on your right-hand side, you'll have the 3-point hitch lever. So you can just raise that up. And that lifts up your rear implement. And then the loader bucket controls are right here. So this is going to lift up the bucket. Going to the left will curl the loader up, and going to the right will curl the loader down. And then pushing forward will lower the loader. So we want to bring the loader up so it clears the ground. Then we can go ahead and shift into a high gear if we're traveling, or a low gear if we're working. So you always want to shift before you start moving. This isn't something that you shift on the fly. So now the tractor's in gear, we can bring the throttle up. My tachometer is actually broken. And then you've got 2 pedals down here. So the pedal on the left will be forward, the pedal on the right is backwards. So you just press the pedal and you're good to go. So you don't have to do any shifting or anything like that while you're going. It's really straightforward. You just press the pedal and lift up to stop. You don't really have to use the brake on the left-hand side. It's more of just like a parking brake or for emergencies. So to back up, we're just gonna hit the back, the pedal on the right-hand side here. And then forward is the other pedal. So you don't have to shift anything to go between forward and reverse. It's just basically moving your foot from one pedal to the other. So it's really straightforward in that sense. All right, to shut her down, you bring the throttle down. I like to lower the bucket to the ground. I'll bring the 3-point hitch down to the ground as well, just for safety. Shift into neutral, put your foot on the brake, pull the parking brake up, and you can shut it down. Now, keep in mind, there is a safety feature with the seat. So if the tractor is running while you're in gear and you get up, the tractor will shut down automatically. And another feature I want to tell you about is float. So if you push the joystick all the way forward, it'll lock forward and it'll float these pistons here. So the loader arms will follow the grade of the ground as you're pushing forward and allow the loader to kind of float up and down with the grade. Couple other things, you have your seat adjustment lever right here to move the position of the seat. Your 4-wheel drive lock is right here. So you pull that up for 4-wheel drive, push it down for rear-wheel drive. And there's a differential lock on the brake pedal. So if you just engage the parking brake pedal slightly, the rear wheels will lock. So if you're ever slipping in mud or anything like that, just push that brake pedal down a little bit and both the wheels will lock and spin together. And you can kind of see that indicated right here. Your rear PTO shaft is right here. If you got a brush hog or any other implement that uses the PTO, to turn that on while the tractor's running, you just pull this up and that will engage the rear PTO. You want to engage it at a lower RPM and then kind of walk it up until you get to the sweet spot of 2,500 RPM. So it's got a little icon right here indicating the proper speed for your PTO. This is something to look out for as well if the tractor's not starting. If your PTO is engaged, the tractor won't start. So you have to have that down in order to start her up. And other than that, you've got your turn signal switches right here, and you have your headlight and hazard switches right here. All right, so that's basically everything you need to know to start and run your 3 Series John Deere tractor.